Legendary Godzilla vs. Godzilla Ultima. Two of the most powerful versions of Godzilla that you're ever gonna see going at it. But who wins here? Well, let's get into it. Godzilla Ultima is unique amongst all the Godzillas, and that's putting it lightly. It's a higher dimensional being who's mutated and adapted to our dimension, all while simultaneously trying to destroy our dimension in the process. So while this Godzilla might seem like a normal Godzilla at first, he's really anything but. Sure, he's able to destroy buildings, take all sorts of attacks, but I mean, he's from another dimension altogether. Even his atomic breath is unique. It's not actually atomic breath, but a closed, time-like curved molecular laser. Basically, multiple beams from the future come back to the past and are greatly amplified in the process. Godzilla's also able to dispel red dust, otherwise known as archetype, something that's able to pull photons from the future into the present, bending time, space, and the laws of physics in the process. Godzilla himself is a singularity for this archetype, so he could basically destroy the universe and lead to where the future itself doesn't exist. And Godzilla really doesn't care if he does that. In fact, his true form is even larger than the universe. And if he tried to enter the universe in his true form, well, the universe would be destroyed. On the other hand, this version of Godzilla is the ancient ruler of all the Titans, basically acting as the one who brings balance between the Titans, nature, and man. He's easily one of the biggest and strongest versions of Godzilla. He himself weighs almost 100,000 tons, is able to throw around other 100,000-ton monsters like it's nothing. He's taken nuclear bomb after nuclear bomb. He survived the Oxygen Destroyer, being dropped from literally the edge of the atmosphere in outer space. Godzilla's even taken extinction level events before, and none of it has put him down. His atomic breath is able to destroy pretty much everything in its path. No monster is really able to stand up against it, and it's so powerful that Godzilla is even able to quickly burn his way down to the center of the earth. Then of course, if Godzilla does go into fire mode, well, he becomes infinitely more powerful and is able to completely foderize monsters like King Ghidorah, who were giving him an incredibly hard time before. So which one of these two guys is stronger? Well, just based on the feats we've seen on screen, that easily has to go to Monsterverse Godzilla. For Godzilla Ultima, what we are talking about here is like plowing through cities and knocking down skyscrapers. Sure, that seems like it's pretty much the same thing that Legendary Godzilla is doing, but when you actually look at some of these feats, well, it can't even remotely compare. Like as for Monsterverse Godzilla, well, there's pretty much no other Alpha Titan that can stand up to him. Godzilla's been able to fight against and kill the two Mutos. He's fought against and beaten Kong. He's fought against King Ghidorah. Pretty much no one can stand up against him. And these are all some really, really serious monsters. They also weigh a whole lot in the range of up to 140,000 tons. So when Godzilla is just throwing these guys around with ease and decking them with attacks, well, you gotta factor that in. Godzilla is insanely strong. He easily overpowered all these Titans. He easily fought against Shimo too in the new movie, and some of these monsters are seen creating country-sized earthquakes. So Godzilla just casually overpowering them, that's no joke. Both Godzillas are able to destroy cities and walk through skyscrapers, but we've never seen Godzilla Ultima do stuff like this. It's just not the same thing. Monsterverse Godzilla is definitely stronger. So then what about durability? Well, for Godzilla Ultima, he actually has 4 different forms. Godzilla Ultima is his ultimate form, and each of the 4 forms are more than tough enough to take any attack that the military can throw at him. And at his best, well, he's taken city-shaking attacks, and he's got a healing factor that allows him to come back from most any injury he takes, allowing him to survive the injury, and it naturally adapts and evolves his body to where he'll now be more durable to that type of injury the second time around. But no doubt about it, Legendary Godzilla is also the tougher one out of these two. Like we said, Godzilla has gotten into his fair share of fights against other titans throughout the years. Everyone just seems to be gunning for that crown. They've all definitely got their hits in. I mean, just look at King Ghidorah. Godzilla was able to pretty consistently trade blows with King Ghidorah, take everything that Ghidorah had, and really Ghidorah had no true shot at taking Godzilla down, until he amped himself with all the electricity in Boston. And there's Kong. And for as powerful as Kong is, well, Godzilla was basically toying with him the entire time. And that's seriously not all either. Godzilla is regularly surviving nuclear bombs, like he survived multiple nuclear bombs, and absolutely massive nuclear bombs at that. Then there's the Oxygen Destroyer too. Godzilla survived that one while taking it directly on the head. And last but not least, the Permian Impact, a straight up extinction level event. It broke apart the Earth's crust, created an explosion even larger than Africa, and killed 90% of all life on the planet. Godzilla just took it, and well, he just kept on swimming. Basically, Godzilla is operating on just a straight up insane level. He's nearly impossible to hurt, much less put down for good. There have been a few times where he's been knocked out, a few low showings, but the guy is insanely tough, like taking gigantic nuclear bombs directly to the face. Kinda tough. And the last thing here is their atomic breath. Now, for Godzilla Ultima, well, it's not even technically atomic breath. It's actually a closed time-like curve molecular laser. Basically, it's Godzilla manipulating time and bringing in multiple beams from the future back to the present. In the process, it makes the beams considerably more powerful and forms his molecular laser. And it really is quite powerful. He's able to one-shot some pretty big monsters with it, blow them to pieces. Godzilla can also unleash his red dust. But while it's harmful to humans, it's gonna do basically nothing to legendary Godzilla. He survived much worse. On the other hand, well, this Godzilla's atomic breath is actually powered by nucleosynthetic chambers in Godzilla's throat, which converts all of Godzilla's bionuclear radiation into the attack and basically causes his roar to become the most powerful weapon on Earth. And just to be clear here, nucleosynthesis is the same process which is happening in the core of stars. So we're talking like hot, like hot, 15 million Kelvin hot. And it wasn't enough to just decapitate the female Muto, but it also pushed back King Ghidorah. And it didn't just push back the 140,000 ton monster, but according to the novelization, well, it was slowly burning Ghidorah, had him screeching out in pain. The same guy who can survive the Oxygen Destroyer, well, that guy was being injured and burned alive by Godzilla's atomic blast. Then, of course, there's a time where Godzilla used his atomic breath to burrow all the way down to the hollow Earth. Easily the craziest thing Godzilla has ever done. It's a country level feat at the bare minimum. It's absolutely crazy that Godzilla is able to do something like this. Really, Godzilla Ultima's last resort is just who he is as a monster. He's not from around here. He's a singularity and a higher dimensional being from outside our dimension. His true form is even bigger than the universe. He's a cosmic entity that experiences all time, space, dimensions, and all alternate timelines at the same time. And if his true form entered into our world, well, he would destroy it just by stepping foot into it. But while this Godzilla is like this trans-dimensional eldritch god with supposedly incomprehensible power, he's also kind of like Cthulhu, completely all-powerful, but yet prone to being defeated by the simplest things. And of course, all this isn't even mentioning that Godzilla mega evolved in the newest movie. And this new iteration of Big G is seriously more powerful, just from absorbing the radiation and energy from the French nuclear power plant. Well, that version of Godzilla was compared to the burning Godzilla that we saw in Boston, except a safer and more stable form. And then Godzilla upgraded again. So now he's said to have doubled in combat power from his prior form, and his energy capacity is 20 times greater than it used to be at his peak. When he's unleashing attacks, well, it's the strongest energy readings that anyone had ever seen. So yeah, he's seriously upgraded. Godzilla Ultima might be more powerful at his core, because he technically is a fourth dimensional being who can destroy the universe. Problem is, Godzilla Ultima is going to be able to destroy a universe basically by screwing up physics, not by actual raw power. And as for Godzilla Ultima's actual feats, well, it makes it look like he's going to get stomped by legendary Godzilla. Well, I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. Legendary Godzilla wins. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're going to have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're going to see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all then. I'll see y'all next time.